Welcome to this week's episode of the 2-Minute Tuesday Marketing Moment. Now let me ask you a quick question. When you're out driving around and you happen to see a building or a company or a billboard or a vehicle of a product that you may have an interest in or a service, have you tried to find the domain name as you're whizzing by and it just looks like one big blur and you have a hard time not only remembering the company's name but much less the URL? Well, stop for a minute and take a look at how you present your own URL on all your materials, your billboards, your vehicles, even on the sign on your building. Is it one just big blur of lowercase letters? Well, don't worry. It's okay. Most companies do that without knowing this little tiny marketing secret, and that is called camel casing your domain. Simply put, it's taking key letters and capitalizing it. Like traditionally, most companies just make it all lowercase and it becomes one giant blur. But let me ask you a question. What if you took key letters like your domain name and take the Y, D, and N and capitalize it? As you can see, it looks a whole lot better and a whole lot easier to remember as you're whizzing by at 70 miles an hour. And let me be honest with you, most customers will pick up their mobile phone when they stop or have a passenger in the car, look up your domain name right there because they can remember it instantly by simply camel casing your domain. So stop right now, and this week before next Tuesday, make sure that everything on your marketing materials has your domain name camel cased. So what I'd like for you to do too is make sure that you like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the 2-Minute Tuesday Marketing Moment. And we'll see you right here next Tuesday.